Welcome to The Explainer. We're about to deconstruct a film that was so powerful, it actually changed the way we talk about truth itself. So, what is the truth? Seems like a simple question, right? Well, today we're going to see just how complicated it can get. We're diving into a landmark 1950 Japanese film called Rashomon, a movie that looks at one single brutal event, but through the eyes of four very different people. Okay, so this setup, it sounds pretty straightforward, almost like a classic whodunit. You've got a forest near Kyoto, a samurai is dead, his wife has been assaulted, and a notorious bandit, he's been captured. Case closed, right? Well, there's just one problem. The minute these people start talking, everything you think you know just completely falls apart. And this is where we get to the heart of it. The film's director, the legendary Akira Kurosawa, gives us four, count 'em, four totally different versions of the same event. It's like he's putting us in the judge's seat and saying, okay, you figure it out. First up, we hear from the bandit, Tajomaru. And in his version of the story, he's the hero. He's this powerful, skilled warrior. He says he fought the samurai in this epic, honorable duel and won, fair and square. Why? Because the wife supposedly begged for it, saying she couldn't live with the shame. So in his mind, he's the strong, decisive victor. But then we get the wife's story, and it is a world away from the bandits. She talks about this overwhelming sense of shame and despair. She says after the assault, her husband just looked at her with this icy contempt. She was so overcome, she says she must have fainted. And when she woke up, her husband was dead with her own dagger in his chest. A completely different reality. And just when you think it can't get any weirder, it does. We actually hear from the samurai himself, from beyond the grave, through a medium. And his story? Total betrayal. He claims his wife begged the bandit to kill him. He says even the bandit was disgusted and left. And the samurai, just heartbroken and full of grief, took his own life. So now we have a suicide. Okay, so finally we hear from a woodcutter. He says he was there, hiding, and saw the whole thing. And his version, it just tears everyone else's story to shreds. He says there was no honor, no great tragedy. It was just pathetic. Two cowards in a clumsy, sloppy fight. He claims the wife was egging them on, and the bandit only won by pure luck after the samurai begged for his life. Ouch. So let's just recap, because this is wild. We have four stories, four different killers, and four totally different motives. From a heroic duel, to overwhelming shame, to tragic betrayal, to just pathetic cowardice. The contradictions are impossible to ignore. So the question is, who's telling the truth? And that, right there, is the mystery that has kept people talking about this film for more than 70 years. And this is where things get really deep, because the film never gives you a neat little answer. It sparked this massive debate that's still going on. What is the film really trying to say? Is truth even a real thing? Well, there are basically two big schools of thought on this. One argument is that the film is saying there is no single objective truth. It's all subjective. Each person's reality is their own truth, which means every narrator is unreliable because there's no reliable center to begin with. But then you have the other side. This view says, no, of course an objective truth exists. It's just that it's buried under a mountain of lies. These characters aren't just misremembering, they're actively, consciously lying to protect their egos, to paint themselves in a better light as the hero, the tragic victim, you name it. And you know what's incredible? This whole debate actually gave us a phrase we still use today, the Rashomon effect. You hear it in law, in journalism, in psychology, anywhere you have a situation where different people give completely contradictory but believable stories about the same event. I mean, think about that. The film's core idea literally became a part of our language. Of course, you can't talk about Rashomon without talking about the man behind the camera, the absolute genius, Akira Kurosawa. He didn't just point and shoot. He invented a whole cinematic language just to capture this dizzying chaos of memory, ego, and lies. This guy was a total innovator. I mean, back then you just did not shoot directly into the sun. It was a huge taboo. Kurosawa did it on purpose, using mirrors to blast this harsh, confusing light through the trees, making you feel the moral ambiguity. He used multiple cameras at once, which let his actors forget they were being filmed and just live in the scene. Add his signature wipe edits that slice between perspectives, and you see that none of this was just for show. It was all part of telling the story. But maybe the biggest thing Kurosawa did was change the ending. The original short stories the film is based on, they're bleak, super pessimistic. The takeaway is basically that humanity is selfish and hopeless. Kurosawa, he just wasn't having it. He added a final scene that isn't in the books at all. The woodcutter, who we know is a liar himself, finds an abandoned baby and decides to adopt it. It's this one tiny, fragile moment of kindness that gives the priest, and maybe us, the audience, a little glimmer of hope for mankind. So let's step back. A movie about a crime in the 12th century, made in 1950. Why on earth are we still talking about it? Why does it feel so now? Well, for one, its impact was absolutely seismic. This was the first Japanese film to really break through and win huge international awards, like the top prize at the Venice Film Festival and an Oscar. It didn't just open the door for world cinema, it kicked it right off its hinges. And it's not just about film history. Like we said, it gave us a whole new way to talk about our own lives. That Rashomon effect isn't just some academic term. It's a perfect shorthand for everything from messy political debates to family arguments. It gives us a name for that feeling when you hear two people describe the same event and you think, are they even talking about the same thing? But I think the real reason this film sticks with us, the reason it's timeless, is that in the end, it turns the camera right back around on us. It makes us ask a really uncomfortable question. Think about it. When you tell a story about an argument you had or a mistake you made, what version do you tell? Are you the hero, the misunderstood victim, the noble one who took the high road? The film never tells us what really happened in that forest, because that's not the point. The real question it leaves us with is about the truth we choose to tell ourselves every single day.